Hello and welcome to Strive Defense Dialogue. As you see on our screen today, I have General Chaturvedi and General Harsh Kakar in my program, and we are going to talk about what has happened after Op Sindoor. Just quickly recapping what happened. 22nd April, Pahalgam, a place where peace was turned into a graveyard. A group called the Resistance Front claimed the killing of 26 civilians. A day later, they gave a statement that we had done it, but a day later, they retracted. What was the truth? We are now going to cover layer by layer. We will also talk about Operation Mahadev, and I will request my esteemed guest to please make it clear for us what exactly had happened, why the TRF initially claimed responsibility and thereafter withdrew. So there has been a UN report also, which I'll request both my esteemed guests to throw light on this. First of all, sir, let's start that why the TRF was named in the UN report despite Pakistan trying to not include TRF's name. So my two questions in this are, firstly, that why did TRF withdrew the claim which it had made initially, and thereafter why Pakistan was making so much of effort to ensure that the TRF name does not appear in the UN Security Council report. Jal Kakkar sir, you have recently written on the subject, sir. So I'll request you to please begin the discussion. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rakesh. See, the first thing we've got to realize that initially the TRF jumped in and claimed responsibility because they were involved. India has been saying there is no difference between the TRF and LET. They are one and the same. आप एक को बैन करो तो दूसरा खड़े होकर वही नाम लेता है. People are the same. Everything is the same. What happened was, moment it happened and the impact hit, Pakistan realized that this is going to cause turmoil in the global scenario and all fingers are going to point to it. What was the option? Tell TRF to withdraw the responsibility. And why did they do it? They did it basically to ensure that their name doesn't come into the global limelight. They were desperate to prevent it, because agar global limelight mein aaya TRF, and India sends proof of TRF and LET being the same, which we will today as we go through the discussion. The moment that comes into limelight, who gets blamed? Pakistan, because LET is anyway with Pakistan. So the moment the blame falls on Pakistan, the reputation, the effort that they are putting in to cover themselves will all get exposed. That is why the intention was keep it out as far as Pakistan is concerned. And they played a very desperate game. TRF withdrew. What happened when it came to the UNSC? I want to read out exactly what Dar, the Pakistan's foreign minister and the vice prime minister, said. His words in an interview in the US: we oppose the mention of TRF in the UNSC statement. I got calls from global capitals, but Pakistan will not accept. TRF was deleted and Pakistan prevailed. Now, in case Pakistan is not involved, why is it desperate to hide the TRF? If the TRF is not linked to the LET and Pakistan claims it's homegrown terrorism, why are you desperate to hide the TRF? You only do it when you know the fingers are pointing at you. When you know that you are involved, it is only the guilty you hide. If you're not guilty, why will you? And that is what Pakistan has shown evidently.
Sir, Jan Chaturvedi sir, would you like to comment on what Jan Kakkar has said?
I think he's getting some connection problems.
Yes. Sir, I totally agree with what you have said. But my only problem is that we are in a very strange situation. On one side, we have China, who does not or who's going against the global rules, and on other side is Pakistan. Both of them are have joined hands. India, on the other hand, is trying to play the rule game, and also morally, we are trying to assert that what we are doing is supposed to be the international behaviors. So, in such circumstances, uh, is it a part of hybrid war that has come in, sir? The tell lies, create a situation, and more problem is that US is still supporting Pakistan. So I would like both of you to give me the clear picture about it. Why is in the international this thing that it's only the lies which are prevailing? Outrightly, Pakistan is supporting terrorism. In fact, the US has also been a victim of the epicenter of terrorism originating from Pakistan. And I'm actually bringing both of you to think about it. That why is Pakistan being favored by the US? Before we go ahead and come back to this question of TRF, sir. Sir, I'll request Jan Chaturvedi to first please make a quick comment on this. There seems to be some issue with his connection, sir. Jalkakkar, sir, quickly, sir, comments before we move ahead with the discussions.
See, as far as the US is concerned, let's be very clear today in the world. Your problem is your problem. It's not my problem unless I'm affected. We adopted that when it came to Ukraine. As far as the US is concerned, they have declared as the TRF as a global terrorist organization. They've done that with you. At the same time, they are wooing Pakistan for multiple reasons. One, they say, is handling Afghanistan and handling the ISIS. The fact is, they're also aware that it is Pakistan which is backing the ISIS against the Taliban. So, if their intention is to keep the Taliban under pressure, it is Pakistan that is doing it. The second factor is that India's rise is not something which is appreciated globally. How do you handle India's rise? Keep India under pressure. Pakistan, the US indicating that by Asim Munir being called in for lunch with the difference in tariffs between India, Pakistan, with the US saying that they're going for oil exploration in Pakistan, where everybody knows Pakistan is no oil. Even if they're looking at Balochistan, there has been no investigation for oil there. There is no announcement of oil deposits in Balochistan yet. Otherwise, China would have been the first to jump in. So basically, the intention is to keep us under pressure, to get us to come down to their terms. And they are well aware that India and Pakistan, Pakistan and China, India and China are three nations where India stands against two. While we are in a position to stand, we're not keen to keep it prolonged. The only way to bring down the Indian economy is to keep it under pressure and force India to toe the Western line, which India is unwilling to do. So basically, this sort of a game is on. They're keeping you happy. They've declared the TRF as a terrorist organization. They are keeping you happy, but at the same time, they're keeping Pakistan happy.
But, sir, now post the investigations, despite forensic evidences, ballistic reports, Pakistan supplies, even identity cards, voter ID cards being there. Firstly, sir, I will request you to quickly see that how exactly this thing has been established. That is Pakistan's hand in it, and thereafter you have spoken about Kargil also. So I'll request you to then follow it up with a pattern which is emerging in these two cases. How Pakistan has been, fabricating lies. It's actually calling it as a false flag operation, which primarily means that it is our own people who have committed this sort of ghastly act against our own citizen. They want us to believe and the world to believe this. So, sir, how was this intelligence gained? How exactly the evidences were collected? And what is the picture that is emerging? And if you can correlate this with the previous experience that we've had with Pakistan, sir.
See, if you take when Operation Mahadev happened and the three terrorists got gunned down. After April 22nd, the terrorists vanished. We've been trying to track them since then. Now, the only country, in fact, it was Pakistan itself, which would have told the terrorists to lie low because India was gunning for them. You knew from the beginning that it was Pakistan involved, there could be nobody else. You launched Operation Sindoor, you caused the damage that you wanted. After that, the terrorists kept lying low. You were waiting for them to open their communication means to be able to track them. When they finally opened the radio sets, you were able to locate them. Once you located them, you launched Operation Mahadev, which eliminated the three. Now, let me talk about the three terrorists and what they were. Now, the three attackers were known to be senior Pakistan elite operatives. Suleiman Shah, otherwise Faisal Jat. He is an A++ commander. He was the mastermind and the lead shooter. Abu Hamza, also called Afghan because his family had migrated ages back from Afghanistan. A-grade commander settled in and belongs to POK, a second gunman. Yasir, also called Gibran, an A-grade commander, the third gunman and the man responsible for rear security. What did we get from them? We got voter ID cards, two laminated voter slips issued by the Election Commission of Pakistan. They were found in the pockets of Suleiman Shah and Abu Hamza. The voter serial numbers corresponded to the electoral rolls of Lahore and Gujranwala. They were carrying the NADRA, which is the Pakistan election data details, the smart chip. This were there in the biometric records. And the address that we obtained from there was Changamanga in Kasur district and Koyan village near Rawalkot. Pakistan manufactured personal items, including the wrappers which were there, were obtained from these people. How did we confirm that these were the same people? We had recovered cartridge cases from Pahalgam. These cartridge cases were well preserved. The same guns which were used or which were taken from the terrorists were compared with the same cartridge cases. 6 different scientists were involved and it matched 100%. The digital footprint of the Huawei satellite phone which they were using to call Pakistan, that was what was confirmed. Ultimately, the final confirmation which came was when Rizwan Anis, the elite Rawalkot chief, visited the families on 29 July and he wanted to offer the what they call as the Gimana Namaz, or funeral prayers without bodies, in POK, and he was filmed by the locals doing so. Now, this actually confirmed that it was Pakistan directly involved. They were elite operatives because the elite commander went there. The fact, it also proved that the TRF and elite are one and the same. If all this is now getting proved, where does it leave you? That Pakistan is directly involved in Pahalgam. It was the ISI which gave the orders for Pahalgam to be activated. And they were expecting India to react like the way we did in Balakot. But we did something very different in Sindoor. In 88 hours, there has never been in history a nuclear power forced to capitulate and then come requesting for a ceasefire in just 88 hours. It was this that caused the panic, which is why those people laid low. They are aware today. You do one more Pahalgam, the air defenses that were destroyed have not yet been replaced. The airfields that were damaged and the damage which was done to their aircraft and to the rest of their resources have not yet been updated. The next time you do something before all this is updated, you can see the damage that will happen. So it is for this reason that they were lying low and they were giving only a sitrep on their updates. But this sitrep is what we grabbed on.
Sir, Jan Chaturvedi, sir, I know you've had some connection problems, sir. Sir, very quickly, I'll request you, sir. Historically, Pakistan has been telling a lie. Whether it was Kargil, where it denied its own soldiers, Pahalgam, it has denied its own on citizens, what Jan Kakad has spoken about. So, what does it tell about the mindset in Rawalpindi? Whether it was 1948 or 65, 71, everywhere they have just denied.
Actually, if you know, see historically, Pakistan has got a mindset that we as a race are superior to Hindu dhoti-walas. And whenever they tried to do all these things, they could never, and kind of their ISPR has been feeding them that no, you didn't lose 47, you didn't lose 65, you didn't lose 71. Even 71, they say that was a victory. So with that kind of a thing, they feel that they have a scope. And so this time they tried, and they thought that there could be only two possibilities. Either there will be a surgical strike, which will be close to LC, or it could be a Balakot kind of a strike that somewhere they will do it air patients which were targeted in the first instance. They were terrific. So that is why, if you notice, there was another interesting thing. Vikram Misri mentioned that on 7th, 8th May, that in a non-escalatory manner, without touching military objectives, we have destroyed what we have. Our aim is completed. Our mission is completed. Pakistan DGMO did not agree to it. He says, no, it's a war and we will respond. But as General Kakad very rightly said, that just in 88 hours, उनकी हवा निकल गई, क्योंकि जब सबसे बड़ी चीज उनकी हवा निकलने का कारण क्या था कि उनके जब उन्होंने देखा कि because you used a very different kind of a tactics. You use decoy and their radars open. The moment their radars open, you use Rudram to destroy their radar stations. You destroyed their AD systems. So in 7th, 8th night and 9th night, this happened. And 9th, 10th night, when J.D. Vance told Prime Minister, I mean, the Indian Army, Indian Armed Forces had already been given. And so they kind of attacked those places from where they could launch their operations. And each and every of those, from Skardu, you can say, to Sakar, everything was destroyed. So they couldn't even respond. And that is why Munir on around 2:30 on the night of 9th, or say you can morning of 10th, he told Shahbaz that after Fazar, what we were planning, now it cannot go because our airfields are non-functional. Each and every, actually, we say that we attacked, we struck only 11. लेकिन बाद में शहबाज शरीफ ने तो बोला कि ये तो 12 किए हैं, ये तो और ज्यादा किए हैं, क्योंकि they mentioned about Peshawar, they mentioned about Skardu, they mentioned about Hyderabad, all these were attacked. So that is why I think Indians were quite brilliant. And Mahadev का भी जैसे कि हर्ष ने बहुत अच्छा explanation दिया है कि they were keeping quiet, radio silence, and we were tracking. जहां उन्होंने अपना हुआ रेडियो खोला, हमको पता चल गया ये कहाँ है, and then the rest is, as they say, is history.
Rakesh, I want to add something, sir, if you don't mind. I was actually looking for this. Now that you raised the point about what Pakistan, there is an article in the Dawn published in 2014. It is termed as the most blatant lie taught through Pakistan, through their history books to their children. I am going to quote this this one, I'll take you through it in parts. This is the textbooks taught in Peshawar. The Pakistan army conquered several areas of India. He's talking of the 65 war. And when India was at the verge of being defeated, she ran to the United Nations to beg for a ceasefire. Right? In 93, on East Pakistan, that is on the 71 war, they write there were a large number of Hindus in East Pakistan. They never truly accepted Pakistan. A large number of them were teachers in schools and colleges. They continued creating a negative impression on Pakistan. And I mean, throughout their books, they have only been talking about a fake narrative, unwilling to accept that they are the ones who had to suffer damage everywhere. Kargil is a live example. Hey, and today, when you look at the 47-48, they say it's a victory because we conquered part of Kashmir.
Yes, yes.
No one says that we came all the way near Srinagar and then the way we got thrown back is nobody's business. So basically, I mean,
Actually-
it's a nation built on lies. It's a nation which is surviving on lies. Today, they are saying that,
Sorry.
in fact, when that defense minister says that it's a false flag operation, they refuse to accept the bodies in Kargil.
Yes.
These are terrorists. They are expendable. They are, I mean, like flies in Pakistan. In fact, the ISI will be happy that the three of them got killed because the ISI won't be paying the families anything now. As long as they were alive, the ISI had to pay the families. Today they're dead, the ISI doesn't. So basically, that is what the nation is. It's a nation which has been built on lies. It knows it is responsible. The proof is there. Otherwise, why will you hide to cover it up? You look at what Dar said again. When the US designated the TRF as a global terrorist organization, Pakistan first objected. Then Dar said, look, if they have proof, we have no objection. Pakistan could have no objection. They were already designated. Now what? So basically, if you're trying to hide or protect a terrorist group, what does it show you? They are used to telling lies. They did that with the US when it was in Afghanistan. They kept saying, you are with us, we are with you. But here they were supporting the Taliban. So when is it that the country is not lied in public? And now when he's talking of operations, what a bunch of lies that they've had. They have no izzat left.
So my issue remains here. Jan Chaturvedi sir, I think one more device is open, sir. We're getting an echo. Okay. Sir, my issue is that in this particular case, India won the military battle. But once again, we have lost the narrative battle. Now, Donald Trump, he said he diffused 29 occasions, I believe he has mentioned that he is the one who's responsible for the de-escalation. On the other hand, Pakistan, like you described, they've killed so many civilians, they have denied their own, and now they're asking for an applause that they are the one who did the de-escalation of the whole thing. I mean, as an analyst, sir, you tell me, what do you advise? How do you handle this?
See,
it's something like somebody keeps telling me my mistakes and I just refuse to accept it. And there is somebody else somebody when I'm talking about is China is protecting him through legal war or legally. And US is keeping a hand on his all the eggs. So you cannot, how do you handle such person who refuses to even say that he is responsible or he's ever told a lie? How do you handle such things, sir? Oh, galti nahi manta hai apni. So as analysts, sir, what are your views?
When I read out that history book, that is lies coming in from the 90s onwards. It is published in their history books, and that's an article very well worth reading. In fact, they even talk that Pakistan became a state only because of fight between Hindus and Muslims. But there are more Muslims
Yes.
in India than the population of Pakistan. So, everywhere it is a bunch of lies that they are living on. One. Secondly, if you look at it, the narrative war, a nation which keeps quiet, with passage of time, the truth emerges. When Pakistan kept saying it was not our soldiers in Kargil, what emerged at the end of the day? Pakistan saying it's a false flag operation in Pahalgam, what has emerged at the end of the day? When they talk about losses, you see, when Trump said 4 to 5 aircraft, you look at how the game was twisted. They're all Indian aircraft. But whose airfields got destroyed? Pakistan's. If their airfields and the hangars with photograph were destroyed, but the aircraft are Indian, where are Indian aircraft parked in their hangars? And what the director of Air Ops said, he said very clearly, all our pilots are accounted for. We didn't need anything more than that.
Yes.
Right? If there's been a damage, there's been a damage. But you haven't lost lives. That is what was most important. Now, when you look at what they're claiming, they've been saying nothing on their side. But everyone is aware. China played the same game initially. Then it realized that the game is backfiring. Today, it is no longer backing Pakistan officially on loss of Indian aircraft.
Yes.
Because the truth has emerged. And they know where their J-10 stand. The latest is Pakistan issuing another story that the air chief was sleeping on mattresses on the ground, only waiting for India to attack because he wanted to hit at the Rafales. And this is the same air chief whom photographs will show either climbing in the aircraft or sitting in the aircraft. But the moment the angle changes, you will notice he's sitting in the passenger seat. He's not sitting on the main cockpit. He doesn't fly the aircraft. Right? It is all Shosha on force. Now, if you have to hide your loss, what is the best way to do it? By everybody will believe that you were successful. एक failed field marshal create कर दो. The reason was more important internally because अगर उनके losses public होते, Imran Khan would have emerged out. There would have been an internal ruckus, and the failed field marshal would have been seeking asylum in Canada, which is where he's going to run to anyway. You had to keep Imran behind. You had to get Pakistan together against Imran. And if you realize, again, Rakesh, let me take you to history. Pakistan is the only nation which converts defeat into victory. In 99, they lost Kargil. What happened? Musharraf overthrew Nawaz Sharif and became the president. Here again, there was defeat. They converted defeat into victory. Asim Munir became a failed field marshal. Which other country in the world can do so?
Even in 65, Bhutto became the savior of the country, and that is how he won the election thereafter.
Even in 71, even after 71, it was Bhutto who took over the reins from Yahya Khan. And ultimately, what happened?
Whereas he was the root cause of the dissolution of Pakistan.
So in Pakistan, it is always after defeat, you declare victory. You look at the article I read. In 65, India ran. 71, it was Hindu teachers in Bangladesh. So it is always converting defeat into victory.
Absolutely. only by narrative warfare.
But narrative warfare is for their own people. A few get influenced on our side.
Yes.
But largely it is for their own internal. You see, we've got to look at two things, Rakesh. One is perception management within, for which they've got a very large force, as also narrative warfare to influence the opposite mindset. For both of this, Pakistan has a very large workforce of social media warriors under the ISI, because for them, the whole game plan is to convert defeat into victory. There is no other way they can survive. If they had to actually accept defeat everywhere, now all the terrorist camps that were hit, is there one mention of the number of terrorists killed? We know there were over 100. Everybody knows. Within Pakistan, everything was suppressed because terrorists are expendable. Even today, every day they're losing 9, 10, 15 soldiers in Balochistan. What do you get out? You get nothing in public domain. It is a few people of ours who are monitoring the obituaries coming out in Pakistan papers who give you the figures of the true dead. As far as Pakistan is concerned, now Baluchis are being called India-supported terrorists. That is come, after when? That came after Operation Sindoor.
Yes.
Till Operation Sindoor, they were Baluchis. After Operation Sindoor, is suddenly India supported. How did it happen?
Yes, sir.
I think his thing is freezing.
Yeah, this connection is a problem. So, sir, the problem is that domestically, I understand Pakistani may think anything, but my problem is that even at the global stage, we were very happy with recent events of Howdy Modi and Namaskar Trump and all that was happening few months back. And we were not expecting the US to behave the way it behaved. FATF sanctions were removed at that particular time. It was a huge symbol to India that Pakistan is it. And then on other hand, like we were discussing the other day, we are part of Quad, and we are. Is it that for maritime they need Indian support? That is to Indian Navy. We have a number of agreements with them, including that logistic and sharing of satellite. But for South Asia or Middle East control, Afghanistan control, they still need Pakistan, so they cannot afford to leave Pakistan out. Do you agree with this assessment?
See, let's look at it, Rakesh, from both sides. When Europe wanted us to criticize Russia for Ukraine, we refused to do so. Jaishankar so much so stated in Europe, in the presence of European leaders, that Europe, I think, has a problem. It considers its problems the world's problems, and the world's problems are not its problems. Right? Every nation looks at conflicts in the globe from its own perspective. The US supported Israel against Iran. India refused to back the Israel line, though we have a close ties with Israel, because we also have ties with Iran, which are ancient. We have investments in Chabahar. We are linking up to the Central Asian states through Chabahar. The North-South corridor goes from there. When it comes down to Russia, Ukraine, we have our own viewpoint. Now, automatically, we expect countries to have their viewpoint. So when we sent our delegations out, while they agreed with us, while they supported us, you did not find them pointing fingers at Pakistan. Because if that was to happen, then we should have pointed fingers at Russia, which we were not willing. Now, as far as Trump is concerned, we discussed that in the beginning of the program. The intent is to keep pressure. Secondly, you look at Trump's desperation for a Nobel. Any conflict happening. Now, Thailand, Cambodia, negotiated by ASEAN. Malaysia is the current leader of ASEAN. It's a rotatory leadership. They were the ones who negotiated the conflict. Trump wants to take credit. Now, tomorrow, if there's a fight between two houses somewhere, Trump will want to take credit to negotiate that because he wants someone to recommend him for a Nobel Peace Prize. You look at the two nations whom Trump is suddenly turning positive to. Pakistan, and he's suddenly gone very strongly pro-Israel. Now he's hesitating a bit because the photographs that the Hamas have released of the emancipated hostages is now causing a political backlash. Because he's told Netanyahu, I'll give you whatever you need to finish the job in Palestine. Why is he supporting the two so much? Because both of them have nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize for 2026-27.
Hmm.
He is desperate because the only thing which his previous, uh, the previous US President Barack Obama got, which he hasn't, is the Nobel Peace Prize.
He got it.
Right? Barack Obama got it. Now Trump says that when Barack Obama got it, he didn't know why he was nominated for it. And he says that's the only thing which I agree with Barack. So for him, the only thing left, this is his last tenure. He's coming close to 2 years. He's got 2 years to leave behind a legacy. This is the only legacy that he can leave behind. Why is he getting after Harvard and the other colleges? Harvard rejected him when he wanted to join. It rejected his son when he wanted to join.
Yes.
Now he's in a position of power, he's getting after them. India refuses to nominate him. If India does not nominate him, Pakistan nominates him, the impact is little. Benjamin Netanyahu nominating Trump means nothing because Benjamin Netanyahu has an ICC warrant. Norway is a signatory of the Rome Statute. So for them, Netanyahu is an ICC criminal. So that recognition means nothing. The Russia-Ukraine, Putin is playing him along. Putin knows that just by speaking to the media doesn't bring about peace.
Correct.
There has to be talks to attain peace. And you're just announcing it to the media, it means nothing. So ultimately, where is he going to get something? India has to take a step. India is unwilling to take a step. So poor Trump now is looking at creating or applying pressure of India in some form कि भैया मेरे को nominate तो करो, मेरे को वो letter of nomination दो जैसे Benjamin Netanyahu ने मेरे को दे दिया. India says no way. So the only thing that is happening, uska every time there is a press conference and his press secretary speaks, she mentions he stopped this war, he stopped this war, he stopped this war. He deserves 5 Nobel Prizes. एक तो दे दो.
Right, sir. One on to conclude this insight episode, sir. I would like to ask you one question, sir. What are the major aspects post-op Sindoor and the forensic of Mahadev, sir, that you have very well summarized? So, what are the major aspects that we have learned where we have gone wrong? Because, sir, I will take you back. First strike, surgical strike. Fine, we made a claim. Pakistan decided not to react. Balakot, we said that. In fact, it was Pakistan who said that there was the intrusion, and thereafter everybody started asking for proof. On this occasion, we provided satellite imagery and we provided the proof that yes, we have struck their airfields, we have struck their terrorist camps. Thereafter, Op Mahadev, we carried out a lot of analysis which was scientific, and we gave proof which are irrefutable. So, and narrative warfare, sir. So, in all this, sir, quickly, I'll request you to sum up what have we learned, which are the most important aspects that we have learned post-Op Sindoor and Op Mahadev, sir. Over to you, sir.
See, if you look at this, you've got your data well in place to prove to the world that Pakistan is directly involved. LET and TRF are the same. This data will now be used in FATF and other world bodies to bring down Pak. That's one. Secondly, on narratives, we need to get our act together. We mucked up on the narratives, there is no doubt. The fact is that no matter what you do, somewhere or the other, we learned our lesson from the first one to the second one to the third one. That is, I'm talking of the cross-border strike to Balakot to this, to Sindoor. Narrative is a fact that we need to be careful about. I think we need to look. Third, we have to look internally. There was a security lapse which happened when that's how Pahalgam happened. We actually need to go firm on these measures. We need to continue with what we are doing in terms of breaking the underground network. continue with our role of ensuring security in J&K without harassing the locals. We need to trust the Kashmiris who are there, because there are bad hats everywhere.
Yes.
But we should not look at stereotyping a lot because of a few bad hats.
Hmm.
And if we have, like, the words are very clear which emerged, say, from engineer Rashid when he spoke in parliament in the Sindoor debate. He says, you people have spoken of Sindoor, you've spoken of losses. Has one person spoke on Kashmiris?
Hmm.
You look at what Omar Abdullah said immediately after Pahalgam. He said, from Kathua to Pulwama, there was not one district, there was not one city where people stood out and took out marches against Pakistan and said, not in our name. Actually, we moved a lot forward. We need to continue. There will be bad hats. There will be people who will sell their souls, whether for money or for ideology. We need to get that. We're doing an excellent job by cracking down using the NIA. We need to continue. And I think we need to ensure the internal security. Narrative is something that we need to concentrate on. I think after every operation, we've learned a lesson. This operation taught us on narratives, and we need to build it up.
Absolutely.
To prove our point, we have to now push our narrative on Pakistan's involvement in Pahalgam. Unless we push this narrative, we will not learn from the narrative game, and we will not be able to achieve it the next time we get it.
Absolutely with you. Sir, shall we quickly take now questions, sir? There are
Please,
few questions.
all yours.
I think some problem with General Chaturvedi's network. We're still not able
I'll
to
handle
get it. Sir, Shritik Kothari, sir, ask sir one thing. No one questions globally is why was Pakistan hesitant or frustrated regarding TRF's mention in global fora? Pakistan was calling for international investigation. So why try to defend a terrorist outfit? You have answered it very, very
I want to add
clearly.
something more. I want to add
Sir.
something more to this. You see,
Yes, sir. Please,
even
welcome.
till date, the 2016 investigation into the Pathankot attack has not been completed by Pakistan.
Absolutely.
If you think you agree to an international investigation, it will continue for the next 3 decades. If they were serious and they had done the investigation in a year, less than a year, and punished the guys, yes, you could say that we offered it, but it was unacceptable, not accepted by India. You haven't done a 2016 investigation completed till 25. What more do you want? And your own team had come here and seen the site, including visiting a classified base. Still, you haven't finished. Who can trust you?
Absolutely.
The world knows.
Absolutely.
The world is questioning Pakistan now. May not be very much in the open, which is why Pakistan will back down now. When the UNSC sanctions the TRF, it will have no choice, because the monitoring committee has already marked the TRF, and the monitoring committee report, I wonder if you read that report. The last line of the report says very clearly, the attack was carried out by TRF, which is synonymous with LET.
LED. Absolutely, sir. Sam Keating, sir, ask sirs one request.
Absolutely.
Please,
I think we will stick to it once a week. We'll try and keep it on Mondays. We'll try and keep it at this time. Our intention is to now go very firm on it. And Sam, thank you for backing us.
And there's one more question. He's saying he's primarily asking about what to do with the overground workers, sir. I will combine this with next question also, sir, which has been directed at me. He says,
Yes.
ask Brede Bhatia, being an int man, how do you feel when Pahalgam 2 is blamed on int failure? I agree we must have gotten wind of this, but your chaps and are human. After all, how to remedy this problem? Okay, sir, just to answer this question, I was expecting some sort of thing. I have just, I'll flash few details of exactly to know where exactly has this operation taken place. It is approximately 30 kilometers from Pahalgam, where this operation is taken. Only for our viewers, this is how the terrain is. And the next, I will show you a close-up 3D terrain. Look at the way the terrain is where these people were hiding. Like what Jan Kakkad had very rightly pointed out, they knew it that after Pahalgam, they couldn't have done any other operation, and they were lying Togo there. They were absolutely quiet with no indicators whatsoever. He has also spoken about the bad hats who are there. There are few underground workers who are sympathetic. Now, if you see these mountains, primarily what they needed was rations to reach there. There is no population, and if you don't open up your communication devices, it's very difficult in such places where nobody ever goes into the area. There are forest reserves also in this area, which are again not many people.
Rakesh, the question that was actually hinting at was talking about the int failure at Pahalgam. How did that happen? If you read that, he's looking for that one. When Pahalgam is blamed on int failure.
So, yeah, agreed. See, what happens is that every time when the intelligence comes up, it is but natural. You have plethora of information that comes in, and there is little bit of complacency which sets in that these type of informations keep flowing. So you tend to ignore certain information which is probably a single source or it is not corroborated. In case of Pahalgam, what probably has happened is a complacency that has set in, because if you see, for a long time there was nothing much happening in that area, and this particular area was there were anticipation of some terrorist activity which may take place. That is why it was closed. But due to some, again, inability to do it, these tourists were taken there without the permission of the state government. So int failure will happen, but now with NIA coming up, the investigation after the incident has taken place, we will look into where did we go wrong and make a corrective measures. It is impossible to have 100% accuracy as far as incident is concerned. But yes, we must give credit to the intelligence community that probably 9 out of 10 incidents they have prevented by providing the correct information at proper time, due to which these have been stalled, and int man does not get credit for this publicly. So yes, this is one of those reasons that has happened due to which these sort of activities go unnoticed.
So Rakesh, I'd like to add.
Yes.
Rakesh, I'd like to add here that you see all your successes and in int go unnoticed. You rightly said the terrorist needs one success to grab the limelight, yes. And that one incident is enough to cause the damage.
Absolutely. Okay. Next question is addressed to General Chaturvedi, but since there is some network issue, sir, we'll try and answer this. Ask General Chaturvedi, you being an engineer officer, would it be possible to develop long-range motion cum thermal detector at specific vantage points, even in remote areas, to get real-time infiltration intelligence?
See, these are being used, but the terrain is such where you got jungles, where you got a whole lot of movement of animals. It's not easy. A large number of them are triggered by animals, and that is where, I mean, all of us who've been on the LC, you'll realize at times that whatever there is in terms of sensors even gets triggered by animals and you react. So there are incidents like that. But sensors are being used. They're being used to a large extent. Today, a lot of it is technology-based. Drones are being used. A lot of it is being used.
Yes. And now we are coming with more technology, more and more technology. And now two things. Ops Sindoor has told us the importance of indigenization of our own platforms, weapon platform, as well as in surveillance and reconnaissance platforms. Even now, sir, like you very rightly said during the episode, it was the Chinese communication device which gave us the information. So we
Yes.
have the capability to break into the codes, and we are doing a good job. And in fact, in times to come, I was reading a report. We are investing heavily into artificial intelligence for our ISR for narratives. In fact, very soon we'll come out with a thing that how quantum computing is helping us, and we're going in a big way. And Ops Sindoor has told us the requirement of indigenization and having our own codes in various weapon platforms. So I think it's a positive that we have learned and we are going ahead. So one last question before we wind up today's session. Colonel RP Singh, the US relationship with Pakistan is a complex and multifaceted issue. What are the best approach to tackle US and Pakistan by India?
See, the best thing is leave Pakistan on its own. US, there are ups and downs. You will never agree on everything. It's not possible. We don't agree with them on a number of issues that they are involved with, whether it's Russia, Ukraine, whether it was Iran. So it's a question of the more you agree, the closer the relationship, the better is the understanding. There will be ups, downs, there will be gaps in understanding. The US perception towards Myanmar is different as compared to the Indian perception. So I think, we have to look at it, take the best that you can, accept that there will be differences. There will always be differences, not only with the US, with every other nation, even with Europe, even with your closest allies.
Absolutely. Sir, one game changer. I'm just throwing this probably for our future discussion. And this is also food for thought for our audience to look into it. Sir, can it be a game changer for us that we have, there is a thaw between India and China, that we tell the US that fine, you may be having problems with with China, but India-China reproach ma, sir. Is it a possibility? We will discuss this in a future thing.
I'll just give you a sentence on this. Rakesh, I'll give you a sentence on this. There is talk of the RIC being reinvigorated, which is Russia, India, China. The moment that gets reinvigorated, the message is very clear. If you're anti us, we're looking the other side.
Absolutely, sir. No, we already have our roots in BRICS and we have SCOs, and so fine. Let it be a sort of message to the US also that we are now moving towards where we think our interests lie. And it was US who says that there are no permanent friends or foes. It's only the national interest. Let's follow it in letter and spirit.
Absolutely.
So with this, I think we've had a good discussion, sir. We've got good comments also. The last one from Colonel Sarath Seth, sir. A good discussion, weekly presentation would be welcome. Sir, thank you very much for being the guest today and an expert on the issue. It has thrown a lot of new questions, and that is what the importance of these presentations are. And we promise we'll try and make it every Monday at least, and if possible, more than once in a week, sir. Thank you very much, sir, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Rakesh.